Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and I am doing today this is Tales from the Table, and this is the story of my player character. He's a Tiefling Paladin, guild with a guild artisan background, specifically creating stained glass. And the name of the character is Shard Galeraven, and this is a story of how Shard Galeraven originally worked with another player character, Dragonborn Paladin, Raken Blindburn, and he is a guild artisan alchemist. And so this is the story of the first time they adventured together. And the first time they adventured together, it was in the town of Peristrine. But the story begins a little before that. So the Dragonborn Paladin, Raken Blindburn, he had infiltrated a human mercenary band called the Brothers of the Fang. And it was led by a human fighter by the name of Locrez of Swiftborough. And so this human mercenary band, they had 50 human fighters in it, and overall, and the alignment of Locrez was neutral evil. Okay, and so what happened was Locrez. I'm sorry, backing it up here a bit. So what occurred was Raken Blindbird infiltrated this band, this Brothers of the Fang, and he was posing as a mercenary. And the reason he had done this was they had last year, a year ago, they had kidnapped a noble's daughter and tried to ransom her. But things went wrong, and the noble's daughter disappeared. The noble's house fell into essentially disrepute, and he didn't have the money to save her. And so the girl was missing. And so Raken he is a paladin of Torm, and he had infiltrated this group specifically to find out what happened to the girl. So they're all at one tavern one night, and he's throwing back some mead and just being one of the guys. And what happens is, and they allowed him, even though he was a Dragonborn, because he was such a good fighter, into the group. So what happened was he's out there and he's doing his thing, and with them, and they start, and a rogue comes in to the table, and Raken is at this tavern with Locrez and his main guys, and this rogue comes in. He says, "Hey, listen, in the town of Peristrine, there is a brand new black oak schooner. It's a beautiful schooner. It was commissioned by Lord Aramanx, and he's paying 50,000 silver to pay these dwarven shipwrights for the ship that they created. Now, the dwarven shipwrights created it downriver, but the deal is going to go down, and the black schooner has been taken to the town of Peristrine." Okay, and but also at the town of Peristrine is Lord Aramanx's 50,000 silver that he sent to have this schooner delivered, right? So to have the schooner, to pay for the schooner. So the next day, one of Lord Aramanx's agents will pay an agent for the dwarven shipwrights, and the deal is going to go down in this town of Peristrine. And so the rogue says, "Now you give me the 100 gold you promised," and he gets his pay and he goes off. And Locrez says, "Woo, we're ready. Let's go. We're in the morning, we're taking all 50 men. We're going to march up there, and by noon, we're going to take the town." Right? They're going to take the town, and additionally, specifically, so they can have the black schooner and the 50,000 silver, and then they'll move on. They would just take the town over for a day or two to get what they wanted, and then they would move on, right? So, the Dragonborn Paladin, Raken Blindburn, he's like, uh-oh, yeah. So he immediately slips away from the table, and he goes out to the stables, right? Well, when he's out in the stables, he begins to steal a horse, because he says immediately, he decides immediately, I'm going to ride all night, or I'm going to ride to the town of Peristrine, and I'm going to warn their town guard. I'm going to get all their people ready, I'm helping these, I've infiltrated them and I want to solve this mystery, but there are people, this town could burn tomorrow because these guys want to get a single ship, right? So he's worried. Well, when he goes to steal that horse, guess who he comes across? He comes across Tiefling Paladin, who serves Lyra, who is the goddess of joy, Shard Galeraven, and he is a Tiefling Paladin. He's also a guild artisan. His background is for stained glass. He created stained glass. And so the Tiefling Paladin, Shard, says, hey, you can't just steal that horse, buddy. And he begins to stop him, and he pulls out, his sword, and he's about to do battle with Raken. And Raken says, listen, you're a paladin, so am I. And he pulls out his holy symbol and says, we can't fight. And he tells him the situation. He says, listen, I'm riding to Parastrine right now. I got to warn these people. Battle's going to go down the next day. Well, two adventurers who had never known each other bonded in battle that very moment, or in upcoming battle. And Shard says, I'll help you. I'll ride with you right now. Take that horse. Let's go. All right. So they ride out, and they do that. They go and they tell the town's guard, and they say, hey, these guys are coming. You got to do your thing. You have to get ready. So the next day, at the town of Parastrine, at the sister tower, there's long bridge leads. There's only one bridge that leads into the town of Parastrine, and so it has this gate, this tower, and with a gate at the bottom. And right there, Raken and Shard held that gate, and they fought all 50 mercenaries with the town's guards and whatever militia they could get from the town that day. Well, sadly, they were able to keep the town from being burned. They were able to save the 50,000 in gold. It wasn't taken, and they pushed back those mercenaries. But the schooner was destroyed in the combat that occurred. And so Locrez actually battled Raken, and their combat was so epic that it destroyed the schooner itself. So Lord Aramanx is not a big fan of Shard Galeraven or Raken. But the town of Parastrine are big fans of Shard and Raken, and whenever they go there, they can't pay for a meal. The inns are free. The people love them there, and that's the story of when Shard Galeraven and Raken Blindburn